Hello friends, good morning. Welcome to the another series of applied mathematics part, and from today we are going to start the complete set of integration series. So first of all I will explain what is this integration and why this is very important, what actually integration is. So our first target is we are going to know the things, then we are going to see how we solve the integration. So let me just draw a curve. Suppose I have a curve given y equals to f of x, and it's like something like this. So this is y equal to f of x. Okay, this is the curve. Now from long time ago, mathematicians and scientists are interested in finding area under this curve. How much area is this curve occupied? So area above the x-axis, this is our x-axis, area above the x-axis and under this curve, this how much this area will be, and how to find it, that was the main question. So it's very simple. They are suggested that suppose I divide the whole set into a small rectangular pieces like this. It's not necessary that they are equal, but for simplicity I'm just taking it as a equal. You can take it unequal also. And if I join this as like this, so okay, suppose this is the area from x equals to 0 to suppose here I have x equals to a at some point. So and then if I approximate this some kind of, okay, I'll approximate this like this, okay. So and suppose this I am giving name as delta x1, delta x2, delta x3 and so on. So the value of f of x at delta x1 will be f of x1, f of x2, f of x3 and so on. Suppose f of n here, and here I will write delta xn. Okay. So now if I just find out area of this rectangle, what will be the area of this rectangle? Area of this first rectangle, second, third, fourth, fifth. So here I approximated my total area under the curve into the 4 rectangle. And now if I want to find out area of this rectangle, then we know that area of rectangle is length into breadth, right? Length into breadth. So this is delta x1, and what is the value of this length? What is the value of this one? F of x1. So this area a1 I will write it as f of x1 multiplied by delta x1, right? Similarly a2 will be this area. This area will be delta x2 multiplied by f of x2. This is my f of x2. Just forget this part right now. I will explain you how we reduce this part. So a2 will be f of x2 into delta x2 and so on. So up to an, my an will be f of xn multiplied by delta xn, right? So total area under this curve will given by a1 plus a2 plus a3 up to an. So simply it will be f x1 into delta x1 plus f x2 into delta x2 plus f xn into delta xn. This will be the area. So now instead of writing in this complicated form, there is a simple, nice and beautiful way to represent these addition sign. So instead of writing all these, we can write this as sum over, this is the symbol of summation, sum over I equals to 1 to n. Why I am writing from 1 to n? Because I'm taking first, my first part is 1 and the last is n. So 1 to n f of xi, multiply by delta xi. Okay, delta xi. So now since I take here these 5 approximation, so this part is we are not including this part of the curve. This part is excluding, which is not correct. But suppose if the same curve, if I take a same curve here and I divide it in a very small, infinitely small part or infinitely small rectangle, then when I approximate it, then what will happen? You can see here, when I am approximating it, the curve lefting is a very less amount, right? Now if I take more small thing, like if I divide it into a more small kind of rectangle, then this approximation will be the correct value and it exactly represent that area under this curve. So that's why if I want corrected value of this thing, I need to take a very small small part of this delta x. So instead of delta x, I will writing here is as dx1. dx1 means infinitely small kind of part. So I am taking here n tends to infinity. Why I am taking n tends to infinity? Because I am dividing this not up to n, up to infinite number of rectangle, very small and infinite. I can't count, like I am dividing this area into this small rectangle that I even not able to count it. So that's why I write here n tends to infinity. So limit n tend to infinity, sum over I equals to 1 to n f of xi into dxi. I change this delta x to dx because to represent it a very small part or very small rectangle shape. Okay, so this is the exact idea. This thing is called as a integration and we represent it. So this sum symbol here, is come like this. This is the s, we write as this. So if you just stretch the s, it will convert into the symbol of integration. So this is called integration fx into dx. So that's the idea. And so this is the nothing but the representation of integration. So this is the integral sign, function and dx. Okay, I hope you understand this, and we represent this by I. So I call this as a integration I equal to, and if I write like this, whenever I solve it, the value is called as integration of the function. This is the integral part of the function. Okay. Okay, I hope you understand the definition. It is simple. It is simple, and you understand that how we got this integration value here. Now there is an interesting thing about this. Since this limit is involved here, so it turned out that this integration is antiderivative. So now till now we was like, if f of x is given and if I differentiate it, I will find out f dash of x, right? Now suppose you know f dash of x. So what is the procedure to get fx back? There is something, there should be something that I will get fx back. So this something is nothing but integration. So whenever you integrate this derivative f dash dx, it will gives you the original function f of x, and that's why this integration is called as antiderivative. It's also called as antiderivative. Okay, so from this antiderivative we know that it's a reverse procedure of derivation. So if fx derivative is f dash of x, then integration of f dash of x dx is f of x. Okay, That's how the thing represent, or in simple way, just remember that whenever you take integration and ddx of fx dx, this integration and the derivative operator get cancel each other and we only get f of x here. Okay, this is just to remember you, but it is the anti-derivative part. So I hope you understand up to this much of part. Just let me know in comment section. Now, how to find out integration of a function? Okay, so it is very difficult that every time if some function is given to me, I will draw the curve, I will plot the curve, and I will divide it into infinitely small part, and then I will apply this basic formula. So it is very difficult, right? So that's why what we do, as we did in the derivative, we have some standard formula that we need to remember, and once we know the standard integration of the standard function, then we just use it to solve the example. So for example, I'll just show you one example, that since we know that ddx of x is 1, right? So from the antiderivative part of the integration, I can write that integration of 1 into dx is equal to x. It is antiderivative. If I integrate this with respect to x, I will get the original function. That's the idea. That's the basic idea. So similarly, I am just writing the standard function that we have studied. The similar way I am writing it as we have done in the derivative. So second formula that I want to discuss is integration of x to the power n dx is x to the power n plus 1 upon n plus 1 plus c. Now what is this c? This c is a constant which is a arbitrary constant, and this is there whenever we take the integration. So we will going to see why this c is there, but right now just remember that these are the standard formula. Third formula, that is integration 1 upon x dx is log x plus c. Fourth one is integration e to the power x dx is e to the power x plus c. Okay. Fifth one that I want you to discuss is integration a to the power x dx is a to the power x upon log a plus c. This is fifth. Then sixth number is integration cos x dx is sin x plus c. Okay, to save our time, I just write all the standard formula like integration sin x dx equals to minus cos x plus c, integration sec square x dx equals to tan x plus c. If you observe that, you know that derivative of tan x is sec square x, derivative of cot x is minus cosec square x, derivative of sin x is cos x, derivative of cos x is minus sin x, right? So that's how we are getting it. So this is the standard formula that we should know. You need to learn it by heart. Now inverse functions formula are also there. So for example, 12 I am writing here that integration of 1 upon root 1 minus x square dx is what, which function's derivative is this? Yes, right, sine inverse x plus c, correct. So 13 is integration minus 1 upon root 1 minus x square dx is cos inverse x plus c. Similarly, tan and cot is there, so I am just writing it for you. Okay, so the other function also I write here to save our time. So this is the integration of 1 upon 1 plus x square dx is tan inverse x plus c. Similarly, minus 1 upon 1 plus x integration is cot inverse x, and that is the integration of sec inverse of x. So mostly these are the basic formulas that I want you should remember. Now I will show you how to use these formulas. So similar in a similar way, very much similar way that we have used the formulas in derivative, we are going to solve the problem. So for example, I am just writing a few example here. That first example I will show you, integration x to the power 3 dx. So the first example that I want to explain is integration x to the power 3 dx. Okay, so integration, I am using this standard formula, integration x to the power n dx equals to x to the power n plus 1 upon n plus 1 plus c. Now just substitute n equals to 3 in this equation. So what will we get? Integration x to the power 3 dx equal to x to the power n is 3 now. So 3 plus 1 upon 3 plus 1 plus c. So which is x to the power 4 upon 4 plus c. In a simple way, just remember that you need to add 1 into the power and divide with the same number. So for example, if I have x to the power 9 dx, so just add 1, 9 plus 1 10, so x to the power 10 upon 10 plus c. Okay. Similarly, if I have x to the power minus 2 dx, then just add one number, minus 2 plus 1 minus 2 plus 1, which is minus 1 upon minus 1 plus c, which we can write it as minus 1 upon x plus c. Similarly, suppose I have integration root x dx. So what is the meaning of root? Its mean power is 1 by 2. So I will write it as 1 by 2. And now I apply the same formula, just add 1 to the power and divide with the same number. So x to the power 1 by 2 plus 1 upon 1 by 2 plus 1 plus c, which is x to the power 3 by 2 upon 3 by 2 plus c, that is equals to 2 by 3 x to the power 3 by 2 plus c. That's how we get it. Now next example that I want to discuss is, we need to find integration of x to the power e plus e to the power x plus e to the power e dx. Now in the similar way as derivative, we can write this integration separately with this plus sign. So I can write this as integration x to the power e dx plus integration e to the power x dx plus integration e to the power e dx. Okay. Now x to the power e means it is same x to the power n, which is x to the power n plus 1 upon n plus 1 plus c. So x to the power e plus 1 upon e plus 1. This c is a arbitrary constant. I am just going to add it into the last thing, or you can add it as c1 plus integration e to the power x dx. We have just seen here by this standard formula that it is e to the power x plus c. So I will just write it e to the power x plus c2 suppose, plus e to the power e, which is constant. Constant means this one. So what is the value of constant? You just take it out of the operator, out of this integration sign, and then integration of 1 dx is x. So I am going to do the same here. E to the power e is a constant, integration of dx. Dx means 1 into dx or dx. So what I get? X to the power e plus 1 upon e plus 1 plus e to the power x plus e to the power e, derivative integration of dx is x plus c, where c is c1 plus c2 plus c3. That's, or directly you can add this arbitrary constant in the last. So that is the answer of that integration. So it's become very simple when we apply the standard formula technique there. Next example I am writing. So next example that I write is integration x into x minus 1 square dx. Now there is a multiplication between two function of x. Until now we didn't learn how to solve the multiplication kind of derivative, integration. So I will just simplify it by multiplying this thing. So first of all I will take I equals to integration x into x minus 1 square dx. Now just apply the formula a minus b whole square, which is a square minus 2ab plus b square. So x minus 1 square will be x square minus 2 x into 1 2x plus 1 square. So that's why I get I equals to integration x into x square minus 2x plus 1 dx. So this is equals to, now multiply with this x, each term will multiply with x, so x cube minus 2x plus x into dx. Now take the integration. Okay, you can separately write the integration that we have done in previous example, or just write it directly here. What you need to do, we just need to add 1 power to each x term and divide with the same term. So x cube integration will become x to the power 4 upon 4 minus 2, this is a constant, integration of x is x square upon 2 plus, sorry, here is 1, I am so sorry, integration of 1 is x, this 2 get cancelled, so I get x to the power 4 upon 4 minus x square plus x plus c is here, okay, arbitrary constant. So that's how we get the value. Okay, next example is quite similar to the above one, but it's just a different kind of one. So solution I will write, I will start with taking it, let I equals to this integration. Now to simplify this, I am just splitting the denominator, so I will get 4 upon root x plus x upon root x minus x square upon root x dx. Okay, now integration 4 upon x to the power 1 by 2 plus this get cancelled, x root x minus x square upon x to the power 1 by 2 dx. Okay, so just take this to the denominator and the power will become negative. So we know that 1 upon a to the power m, this can be written as a to the power minus m. Whenever we took the power term into the numerator or denominator, we need to its symbol. So here what will I get, integration 4 into x to the power minus 1 by 2 plus x to the power 1 by 2 minus x square into x to the power minus 1 by 2 dx. Now here we know that a to the power m multiplied by a to the power n is equals to a to the power m plus n. So in the similar way, x square multiplied by x to the power 1 by 2 will be x to the power 2 plus, but here we have minus, so minus 1 by 2, which is, just simplify it, 4 minus 1 by 2, that is 3 by 2. So x to the power 3 by 2 I got here. So we will write it as integration 4 is outside, x to the power 1 minus 1 by 2 dx plus integration x to the power 1 by 2 dx minus integration, I am just separating the integration, x to the power 3 by 2 dx. What I do here, I just apply this simplification here. So by the rule we need to add the power into this. So 4 x to the power minus 1 by 2 plus 1 upon minus 1 by 2 plus 1 plus x to the power 1 by 2 plus 1 upon 1 by 2 plus 1 minus x to the power 3 by 2 plus 1 upon 3 by 2 plus 1. Just observe the step. I hope you understand it. It's not very difficult. Just don't get confused. It's very, very simple. Okay. Now what I get here, just simplify it. So I'll get 4 minus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 is x to the power 1 by 2 upon 1 by 2 plus x to the power 3 by 2 upon 3 by 2 minus x to the power 3 plus 2 5 by 2 upon 5 by 2. Just write it in a nice beautiful way. So this can be write as this 1 by 2. If we take it into numerator, it will become 2. So 4 into 2 x to the power 1 by 2 plus 2 by 3 into x to the power 3 by 2 minus 2 by 5 into x to the power 5 by 2. So I get here 8 x to the power 1 by 2 plus 2 by 3 plus c, constant of integration, don't forget to add it, it is very important, minus 2 by 5 x to the power 5 by 2 plus c. So this is nothing but my I, the value of I. Okay, so I hope you understand this thing. One more example, if I want to find integration 1 upon x square plus 4 dx, then from the standard formula I need to use this formula, this one, okay, 1 upon x square plus 1 square. So instead of 1 I have a here, which we have not learned. So we have integration 1 upon x square plus a square dx is tan inverse of x upon a plus c. Okay, sorry, I forget here, 1 upon a is here, okay. So 1 upon a tan inverse of x upon a is here. Now here a square is there and I want to take a, that is the square part of this thing. So how I solve it, just observe it. 1 upon, I am taking I as x square plus 4 dx, and this 4 I know that I can write it x square plus 2 square dx, right. So now these 2 become my a, right, it is x square plus a square in the same form, resemble form. So these 2 become my a, and I am just putting the value here. So I will get 1 upon 2 into tan inverse of x upon 2 plus c, that is the value of I. So that's how we solve the integration problem of simple function. Now I want you to try few example and let me know in the comment section that whether you are able to understand and able to solve it or not. So the first example is this. It is the very simple, just convert this into 1 by 2 and multiply the open the bracket by multiplication. So you will get the answer. One more example you should try, integration log to the base a of a plus e to the power log x plus e to the power log a dx. And the third one you should try is integration x to the power a plus a to the power x plus a to the power a. So this is very much similar that we have solved in this lecture, and this is also very much similar. So log to the base a of a, this value become 1, simply 1. Now e and log get cancel each other, you will left with x only. E and log cancel each other and a will left only. So that's how you solve it. Just use the property and try to find the example. So one more example that you need to try is 1 upon x square plus 9 dx. So all these examples are very much resemble that we have solved in the same lecture. So just try it out. I hope you understand it. I hope you are able to solve it. Enjoy. Thank you very much for watching. Till then, have a nice day. Bye.